Hello and thank you for tuning into News9 viewers. I'm Deepak Suresh Kumar and you're watching In Your Interest. But tonight we need to talk about the air you're breathing right now, because if you're watching this from Delhi or anywhere across North India, viewers, chances are that every breath you take is damaging your health. And let's begin with the simple question. If your child comes home from school wheezing, will you feel proud that the air was quote-unquote better than last year? Because that is exactly what the central government wants Delhi to feel today. But for the past couple of days, lawmakers have been outraging when a member of parliament smoked inside the parliament premises. Fair enough, the outrage is justified, but what about the millions of citizens who are involuntarily smoking hazardous air every single day in the national capital? And the government says the numbers are down. The citizens say the smog is still choking them. And tonight, we are putting a lens on the government's logic and not just the AQI.
दो 2016 में जो AQI जिसको 200 कहते हैं, मतलब अच्छे दिनों की संख्या जो 110 होती थी, 110, 2026 में वो संख्या बढ़कर के 200 हो गई है। इस वर्ष जनवरी नवंबर की अवधि में दिल्ली का औसत AQI जो 2018 में 213 था, वो कम होकर के 187 हुआ है। 2025 के दौरान दिल्ली में एक भी दिन AQI 450 नहीं हुआ है। हम उसको कंट्रोल रखने में सक्षम हुए हैं।
Viewers, first let's look at why the minister is claiming victory, because if you look at the raw data from the Central Pollution Control Board, the numbers do show a dip, and the government presented data showing that the average AQI from January to November this year was 187, and they pointed out that this is the lowest figure in the last 8 years. For context, in 2018 that very number was 213, and in 2024 it was 201. So they also highlighted that the number of severe days when the AQI is between 400 and 450 has dropped drastically to just 3 days this year compared to 20 days back in 2021. And even more significantly, they claim there have been 0 severe plus days where the AQI crosses 450 in 2025. And based on these statistics, the government's argument is simple. The curve is bending. But here is the question that every doctor and every parent in the city is asking. Should we be celebrating just because the AQI hasn't crossed 450? Is the absence of an apocalypse the same thing as a healthy life? Because there is a massive disconnect here. And the minister's claim relies on yearly averages, but an average hides the extremes. You cannot average out a crisis. Well, the January to November average is 187. Look at what happened when winter set in. The average AQI for October was 223, which is poor. And by November, that average jumped to 354, which is very poor. And the yearly average masks the peak pollution months when Delhi actually suffers. And furthermore, the minister seems to imply that an AQI under 200 is acceptable. But if you look at Central Pollution Control Board's own norms, classify 101 to 200 as moderate, explicitly stating that this air can cause breathing discomfort to people with lung and heart diseases. So even the improved days are not actually safe. And the government also dismissed international concerns when faced with global air quality rankings that often place Indian cities at the bottom of the list. The government told Parliament that these rankings are not issued by official authorities. They stated that World Health Organization guidelines are merely advisory and not legally binding standards. In other words, the rest of the world can keep its standards. India will decide for itself what is clean and what is not. And meanwhile, a new report by the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air says 60% of Indian districts exceed the national PM 2.5 limit, and not a single district meets the WHO's safe limit. And Delhi still has the worst air, viewers, among all the other districts, followed by parts of Haryana, Bihar and even Assam. Rural areas are also suffering, and this is no longer just a city problem.
Most of our cities, major cities, are living under a blanket of poisonous air. Millions of children are getting lung disease, their future is being destroyed. People are getting cancer. Older people are struggling to breathe. I think a good idea would be that we frame the discussion not on us saying what you have not done and not on you saying what we have not done, but simply saying that what are we going to do for the people in India in the future.
Government from the day one had made our position very clear that on all important matters, government is ready to discuss and also to find out solution, taking along the suggestions from all the members, including the principal opposition party led by Rahul Gandhi ji.
Viewers, the political whataboutery continues, and the big questions that we are asking tonight are: do Indians have some special immunity to particulate pollution that science says harms every single person? One MP lighting a cigarette sparks outrage, but 6 crore people inhaling 20 a day is called improvement by government. Is India redefining clean air by changing global benchmarks? And to answer some of these questions, we have Sunil Dahiya, founder and lead analyst of Enviro Catalysts. We have Anmol Pawar, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Abhishek Datta, spokesperson of the Congress, and Dr. Anil Gupta, spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Gupta, firstly, let me take the question to you, because the government seems to be redefining quote-unquote good air, saying that, you know, anything less than 200 is good air. But the Central Pollution Control Board has said that anything above 100 can actually be potential harm to all those with lung diseases. So what are you trying to justify here by saying that this is good air? Dr. Anil Gupta.
Yeah, you are asking me?
Yes.
Can you please repeat the question?
Sir, your union minister has defined good air as anything between 100 and 200. But if you look at the Central Pollution Control Board, they say that even a single number after 100 is not really safe for people who have existing respiratory problems.
The Honorable Environment Minister was discussing about the air quality in the Delhi and NCR. You know, as compared to the previous years, this year the AQI has marginally decreased. You know, normally 50 to 100.7 decrease. If you compare the data of 2025 with 2024 and the previous years, this year the situation is better. There are several reasons for this. Under the National Clean Air Program of Government of India, lot of amount has been given to the states for dust mitigation. Even the Delhi BJP government is doing lot of things to control the particular matter. He was referring to the better reading as compared to the previous years. Whatever you mentioned about the CPCB standards, they are still there. Under the National Ambient Air Quality Standards that were formed in 2009, when the Congress were ruling, their standard is still valid, and we cannot say that 300 is good. Only the reading with 0 to 100 is considered as good. It is their standard. But when you compare the data, when you compare the situation, because lot of things is going on to control the particular matter, to reduce the AQI through dust mitigation and other things. When comparison is there, this figure has come into the picture. Therefore, compared to the previous years, this year's situation is better.
Sir, and the average that was taken out was from January to November, but you know, the air quality worsens between November to the next 2-3 months. What about that particular period? Why isn't that considered? Because that's the most harmful period for people.
See, from February to September, the AQI in Delhi NCR are below 200s. Actual problem arises during the winter season. It is there because natural circumstances are like that, because of the winter situation, because the wind speed is not much, the problem arises. So now, if you compare the reading with the last year, it was more than 400, but now even today, it is roughly 300 nearby to that. So lot of measures are done. It is not a one-day solution. No, nobody can control. It will take few years to control on the dust mitigation, which the government is doing. And under the National Clean Air Program, you know, we have cities like Indore, we have cities like Surat, we have cities like Ahmedabad and Aizawl, where the AQI is better. But in some other cities like Delhi NCR, the works needs to be done, which Delhi government is doing, and hopefully in next few years the situation will improve.
That's right, and people are hoping that it improves immediately because people are not going to wait for the next 2 years, sir. And Abhishek Datta, spokesperson of the Congress party, we have Rahul Gandhi coming out in the parliament and saying we have to discuss pollution issues. But what steps and what measures has the opposition suggested to control this air emergency?
See, first of all, it was very good to see Mr. Rahul Gandhi making a very good statement saying that air pollution is above politics. All the political parties, irrespective of any ideology, needs to come together and find a way out that how Delhi and urban cities can fight air pollution. I was listening to my friend from Bharatiya Janata Party. I had a small suggestion to give to him through your program. If you look at the CPCB, the Central Pollution Board data, Delhi is roughly 1483 square kilometers. As per the sources, we need approximately 80 monitoring stations to first understand what are the true AQI levels in our city. Currently, we are running on approximately 40 AQI stations, out of which 29 are placed in such a manner that they are around trees, which the CAG report in 2022 very clearly categorized that these have to be moved out. So let's come clean with the data. Let the people of the city know what the true AQI levels are and don't put these data off. If we know what the data are like, then we can all work together. Because air pollution in the last 1 year, we lost approximately 17 lakh lives because of air pollution in our country. During COVID, we lost 5.53 lakhs. So this is something that is affecting everyone. So I think there should be no politics on air pollution. Let the government come up with a white paper about transportation, dust control. Whatever they think has to be done, let's all come and do it together. What is the problem? Today, if I start blaming Bharatiya Janata Party that you've done nothing, it doesn't help. So that is what Mr. Gandhi has suggested. Let's all come together. And last thing I want to tell you, in the current year, 41.5% days have been very, very poor and severe. The day after Diwali, most of the AQI meters have stopped working. The moment it recorded 999, they stopped working. So let the Bharatiya Janata Party come out with a very clear plan instead of debating without any issues. You come with a solution. I'll give you a very small example. In New Delhi, during this massive construction by all these top builders in New Delhi, 20,000 trees. NBCC has constructed Narojini Nagar, Sarojini Nagar, Prem Nagar, all these areas. You've cut more than 20,000 trees in Delhi, in only New Delhi. And in Delhi, you've cut more than 1 lakh trees. Let's put a ban on cutting of trees in the city. Let the greed of builders be kept aside. Need today is clean air. You invest money in infrastructure. You get transportation done. Public transport has to come forward. You do work on metros. You do last mile connectivities. Control dust. We are there with you. But don't come up with data which is not factually correct. I can very clearly say today, why do you have 40 AQI meters when you need 83? And placement is absolutely wrong. So let's come with clean facts and come with a solution.
Dr. Gupta, you heard the Congress spokesperson saying that data is being manipulated and real numbers are not being shown. So what does the BJP have to say about this? Are the real numbers being masked?
See, Delhi has the highest number of monitoring stations in the country. There are less than 10 monitoring stations in Chennai, in Kolkata, in Bengaluru. You can go and check. And Delhi is adding 6 more. And these monitoring stations are not just constructed by the Rekha Gupta government. They were the old one. Even during the Sheila Dikshit government, even during the Kejriwal government. And there is have some faith on CPCB and DPCC. There is no question of fuzzing. And in each time, almost half of the monitoring station working, there is a technical term, UD link. Sometimes that goes link failure. It is there. It happened every year. But Delhi has the highest. Have relied on the scientists. Have relied. And all these monitoring stations were installed during the last 26 years wherein BJP was not in the power.
So now you're saying that it is all to be blamed on Aam Aadmi Party because Anmol Pawar, you just heard the BJP clearly blaming you, saying that all these years it was the Aam Aadmi Party that was ruling Delhi. But his point is also right. There has not been a single winter when Delhi has not been named as among the worst polluted cities in the world when Aam Aadmi Party was also there in power.
Deepak ji, by claiming that Delhi's air quality has improved, the environment minister is misleading the people of Delhi. We are still breathing that hazardous, toxic air. National air pollution is still a national health emergency. And it's not just about Delhi, it's about a large part of northern India, wherein Aam Aadmi Party is not ruling. And just now, BJP spokesperson said that believe in DPCC and CPCB data. And if you want to believe in that data, CPCB itself has capped the AQI from 1000 to 500 so that it doesn't reflect correct figures. Secondly, the chief minister itself has openly admitted that water is being sprinkled around AQI monitoring stations just now in an interview, just to prevent Delhi people from seeing the real pollution levels. And this is a deliberate attempt to mask the data and project that the air is clean. Secondly, how can you expect the Delhi government to eliminate pollution when its own leader doesn't even know what AQI means? She said that AQI is a temperature. So my point is that BJP has tried every trick to fool the people. First, they sprinkled water around monitoring station to hide real numbers. Then they got CPCB to cap AQI readings from 1000 to 500, so truth never shows. After that, they manipulated the data. And when people came out on street demanding clean air and clean environment, which is their fundamental right, they were being lathi charged and thrown into jail. And even when this isn't enough, they are now creating their own air quality standards. And the day is not far when they will say that air pollution has magically disappeared and AQI will fall below 100. And if anyone dares to talk about the rising pollution, they will say, go and get your eyes checked. बात यही कहेंगे जब इनका एयर मॉनिटरिंग स्टैंडर्ड आ जाएगा, फिर ये कहेंगे जी AQI 100 से कम हो गया. जब हम कहेंगे पोल्यूशन इतना ज्यादा है, हवा उतनी ही दूषित है, तो ये कहेंगे भैया आप चेक करा लो, अपनी आपकी आंखों में कमी है, पोल्यूशन तो बहुत कम हो चुका.
इनफैक्ट
और अगर if they had the intent, then they had governments in more than 22 states. आप बताइए, tell me a single state where the pollution level is under control, which is ruled by BJP. 83 out of the 100 most polluted cities in Asia are in India. 13 out of the 20 most polluted cities in the world are in India. And most of them are ruled by BJP. आप NCR की बात कर लीजिए. You are sitting in Noida. Go outside, check the AQI readings and show him the reality.
I mean, you don't even have to check the AQI readings. You just have to step out and you'll start coughing, and then you'll return home and you'll think about what's happening in Delhi, NCR region. And Sunil Dahiya, a lead analyst from Enviro Catalyst, politicians are saying that WHO guidelines are just advisory. So if you don't follow WHO guidelines, then what are the guidelines that you need to follow? Because they're saying that 200 is good air. Give us a clear picture.
So to start with, Indian National Ambient Air Quality Standards were revised in 2009. They've been really old, and there is a revision which is pending, which has started in 2020. IIT Kanpur under a committee is doing it. The final report has been submitted to CPCB. What's in there, nobody knows. What happened with WHO is, based on the latest research over last 15 years, when there has been more conclusive evidence saying that even at 5 microgram of PM 2.5 concentration, there are significant health impacts. And that is why nobody nowhere in the world will be able to bring PM 2.5 levels from 100 to 5. What they have also given is 3 interim levels of interim level 1, 35 microgram, interim level 2, 25 microgram, interim level 3, 15 microgram, and then the final guideline, which is 5. So it is advisable, it is an advisory guideline, but in absence of a revision of our own national standard, it is that advisory which we have to look at. While we cannot assume that Delhi will reach that even interim level 1 or even Indian standard for that matter in a year, but there are other cities in the country which are around those Indian standards or achieving them, at least few of them. They can strive towards going to interim target 2 and 3 and then to the guidelines. So any advisory guideline by international bodies which are based on significant latest research or conclusive evidence that there are health impacts of air pollution has to be regarded by a country like India, where air pollution is a very, very severe issue. We are not superhumans. adopting adaptation of human body to high pollution levels doesn't happen over the last over 20-30 years. And PM 2.5 is a new pollutant which has emerged basically because of high combustion of fossil fuels in last 2 to 3 decades in India. PM10 has existed since centuries, and because of that, our nostril hairs, trachea, mucous membrane in the trachea and the lungs, they have a natural filtration mechanism against those bigger particles. PM 2.5 hasn't been there. It is primarily from combustion. We are not superhumans. We have not adapted, and that is why we have to follow the reputed or international science wherever it has established. And I'm sure that latest revision, which is underway of the Indian National Ambient Air Quality Standard, that will also strive to move towards interim target 1 at least, which is suggested by WHO. We just have to wait and watch when those standards will be out.
You know, Dr. Anil Gupta, in your manifesto, year on year and election on election, you make tall promises. You know, one of your poll manifesto promises was that you promised mechanized sweeping in every single constituency. Please, can you name 10 constituencies where these machines are active? Because every single day when we go across constituencies, there's nothing but dust and pollutants.
See, before I answer your question, let me just reply what Sunil Dahiya said. We have a national standards which were formed in 2009. Still they are valid. You know, there are 12 parameters into that. And in AQI we have 8 parameters. Surprisingly, out of 8 parameters, 6 parameters are under control down the year. But nobody talk of how they are able to control. You know, we don't have a lead now. We have it is under the NOx, SOx and all these things, they are within range. If you take the figures, but the problem is
please respond. Let me also bring in Mr. Pawar.
With you. And under the National Clean Air Program, the government of India has given more than 10,000 crore rupees, and we have better cities now in India. We have Surat, I mentioned, Ahmedabad, we have Indore and all these cities. Problem is there for Delhi, I admit that. But what we said, as compared to the previous
Anmol Pawar,
the
please.
situation is better. And about the monitoring station you mentioned, there are 40.
Dr. Gupta, you've taken more than enough time. Let Aam Aadmi Party also respond, because this is a very important issue and people's lives are at stake. Mr. Pawar, please go.
Deepak ji, the BJP government, when filed an affidavit before the Honorable Supreme Court, said that dust and vehicular pollution are the main sources as far as Delhi is concerned. Their own Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Vinay, he said that 75% of the pollution can be eliminated if the government has the will and the intent. So what were they doing for the last 1 year? Thirdly, 80 Padma awardee doctors have very categorically said that we are inhaling poison. Our lungs are choking. They have written to the central government, to the BJP leaders. And there are more than 15 lakh cases of cancer, 28,000 this year in Delhi. We all are facing a crisis, but unfortunately we have a government in Delhi who is not concerned about the people. They are just busy manipulating data. They are busy lathi charging the ones who are asking for clean air and clean environment. किससे फरियाद करें, किसके पास जाएं? केंद्र में भी इनकी सरकार, राज्य में भी इनकी सरकार, एमसीडी में भी इनकी सरकार, एलजी भी इनके, 5 इंजन की सरकार होने के बावजूद we all are helpless.
Well, Mr. Abhishek Datta, you know, Rahul Gandhi proposing a debate on air pollution is a good suggestion. But what does he contribute when the debate is happening in the parliament? What are the concrete steps that you, as the opposition, is going to propose?
See, that's when it happens in the debate in the parliament. Definitely, Delhi Congress has given Delhi as a green capital during Sheila Ji's time. The way we transformed Delhi from a polluted city to a green capital, where was infrastructure, metros, flyovers, green cover, everything is there. And of course, we'll come up with very good suggestions. But 2 things I want to tell you. When you calculate the AQI, the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson, again, they're trying to mislead your audience. You know, there are 8 factors which adds to an AQI level, including lead. Many of our stations don't even cover more than 5. So where is the data? And you know, there's a 1 second, let me complete, please. And Bharatiya Janata Party keeps on repeating this, that the Chief Minister of Delhi started for 27 years, you were not in power. Let me tell through your TV channel, Delhi has a 3-tiered, governance system. Municipal corporation for the last 24 years, Bharatiya Janata Party has been there. In the central government for 16 years, including late Atal Bihari Vajpayee's term, they've been there. And in Delhi for 6 years, they've been there. 5.5 years. So how can they run away from their responsibility? They are sitting in municipal corporation, which is highly corrupt, which is responsible to control dust. But these people don't do anything. And I'm very happy to see the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson for 10 years, they did nothing. And now they're coming up with all the suggestions. They need to see what Sheila Dikshit ji did in Delhi. How did she transform Delhi into a green capital? Within 11 years, a green capital is called the most polluted city. And it is very sad when top Bollywood actresses come to Delhi and they say they don't feel like coming to Delhi. It is so polluted. So imagine the reputation of our city. Today,
that's right. The reputation of Delhi is at stake. Sunil Dahiya, you're an environmentalist. You're a lead analyst. There's only 30 seconds left, so let me take my question to Mr. Dahiya, because this is a very important, discussion, and the only way forward is to listen to analysts, people who know about the subject, not about people who politicize the entire matter, saying that, oh, Aam Aadmi Party did that, oh, Congress didn't do anything, oh, we are controlling air pollution. So, Mr. Dahiya, what's the way forward?
See, the only way forward is reducing emissions at source. How will that happen is we have to give sectorally and regionally specific targets to all these polluting industries, the people who are governing them, saying that if the transport sector is emitting 1,000 kilotons of PM 2.5 and SO2 and NOx right now, that has to reduce to 500 in next 5 to 7 years. For every year, there will be targets, and if those targets are not met, the governors or regulators who are administrators will be punished. There will be the way it happened, that your promotion will be impacted because of non-achievement of those targets. This is just one example. Similar targets, emission load reduction based targets have to be given for industries. The construction sector has to be regulated. Waste management. We are generating more and more waste. Waste has to be reduced at source. Burning it at an incinerator, at a landfill, or on the road will not help. So what we need is a overhaul in the governance mechanism and monitoring mechanism on air pollution, and that is the only solution we can achieve. Sadly, till now, even since 2001, after the CNG.
That's right. Setting 2030 or 2027 or 2040 as goals to reduce air pollution is really not the way forward, because people are suffering even as we speak. Several politicians have their air purifiers running at their homes, but it is the common man who is suffering. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on this broadcast. And the clear message today is every sector that contributes to pollution must be analyzed, and clear-cut short-term goals must be achieved to have long-term improvements. With that, it's a wrap, viewers. Thank you for watching.
एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा से लोन लेना एक मास्टर स्ट्रोक है।
यार सोच रहा हूँ पॉलिसी बाजार से टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस ले लेता हूँ, ताकि मेरे बाद फैमिली को पैसों की कमी ना। तू भी ले ले।
यार अभी तो यंग है।